What happens when your wife's ex returns and you see every hidden message? As fate would have it, I got transmigrated into a romance novel. And, just like people online say, in the world of these novels, even a god could get slapped around. A divorce could strip a king of half his power. That bizarre law sent a shiver of fear down my spine. Luckily, I had a plan. I would turn the tragic male lead into the villain. This wasn't a tragedy anymore, it was a power play. The plot had already reached the point where my wife's old flame returned to the country. By chance, I picked up her phone instead of mine and saw her social media feed, the one she had blocked me from. A picture of her with Ethan Dawson appeared, captioned, "Welcome back. Hope you didn't mind me treating you today." Someone had commented, "Well, well, Victoria on a date with Ethan." Another had replied with a grinning emoji. "Grin my ass," I cursed silently. Curiosity, or maybe something darker, drove me to click through her profile. Post after post she had hidden from me stared back, igniting a fire in my gut. Even though I was technically a transmigrator, I felt every pang of jealousy as if it were my own life. That proverbial green hat was sitting squarely on my head, shining for all the world to see. I opened their private chat, bracing for disaster. Thankfully, it was just flirtatious, nothing explicit. My fingertips still trembled, not sure if it was rage, shock, or the absurdity of it all. Then the bathroom door clicked. Victoria emerged in a sleek black nightgown, shaking her head. I froze, captivated. She was breathtaking. Those long legs, that figure. I had to swallow hard to keep from staring. Her brow furrowed as she slipped back into boss mode. "Hurry up, hubby. Dry my hair. I'm tired," she ordered. Excuse me? She had the audacity to boss me around. Fine, if she wanted to play that game, I wouldn't hold back. I stepped forward with exaggerated enthusiasm and gave her rear a firm smack. Her gasp and spin nearly knocked me over. Wet hair whipped across my face, carrying the scent of rose shampoo. "Have you lost your mind?" Her eyes widened in disbelief. I grinned, feeling a surge of unholy satisfaction. In 3 years of marriage, this is the first time I've been so forward with you. We're getting divorced anyway. Might as well collect some interest. I wrapped my arm around her waist and kissed her, deliberately brushing my thumb over a droplet on her collarbone. Her ears turned the faintest shade of red. The ice queen who had avoided intimacy her entire married life for the sake of her old flame? She wasn't immune to fear, after all. We went at it all night, dusk to dawn, no holding back. Later, I couldn't resist one more spin with her, the car roaring beneath us. Victoria shrieked with excitement and fear as the speed climbed. Her hands gripped mine tightly through her hair, trembling ever so slightly. Even the untouchable Ice Queen could feel fear. Morning light filtered through sheer curtains as she fastened her bra, the imprint of my fingers still visible on her back like a delicate painting. "I'm going to an alumni party tonight," she said lightly, breaking the moment. I feigned ignorance. What was that? She turned, the sharp, confident expression back in place, and tapped her long red nails on the vanity. "My college reunion. I won't be home for dinner." In the original story, this moment had been the prelude to disaster. Fueled by alcohol, Victoria would play truth or dare with old classmates, and I, the original protagonist, would arrive just in time to catch her kissing Ethan. Not today. "Don't worry, I'll drop you off after work." Her hand paused over her lipstick. "No need, Vivian West is picking me up." I nodded, noting the torn silk nightgown on the floor. "All right, be safe, don't drink too much." That evening, I arrived at the private club on time. My 2 Blackwood security bodyguards flanked me as I approached the door. A waiter appeared. "Good evening, sir. The guests in here have requested—" "My wife is in there," I said, cold and flat. "Does that rule still apply?" The waiter froze, clearly sensing the authority radiating off me. I slipped him $500. Get lost. Moments later, I pushed the door open to the deafening music. My face was unreadable as I scanned the room. Dim lighting, but I spotted Victoria instantly, seated beside Ethan Dawson. He had an arm draped casually over her shoulder as they whispered and laughed. I pulled out my phone and started taking pictures. The flash went off. Silence fell. Victoria froze, eyes wide as she saw me, phone in hand. "Ha! My apologies," I said softly, tucking the phone away. "Please, continue." "Don't mind me. I'm just here to pick up Victoria. Looks like I'm a bit early." An awkward silence fell over the room, broken only by Ethan's sudden burst of laughter. He stood, swirling a glass of red wine, tie loosened around his neck. "So, you're Victoria's husband, huh? Why don't you join us for a game of truth or dare?" "Love to," I smirked, unbuttoning my suit jacket and sitting down. I picked up the dice cup, feeling every pair of eyes on me, all staring in disbelief. Dice rattled against felt. Ethan slid a glass of hard liquor towards me with a challenging grin. Loser drinks or answers a question. I caught Victoria tugging at his sleeve under the table and smiled. Drinking is boring. Questions are much more interesting. The room erupted in jeers and callcats. Victoria lost the first round. Vivian West, always ready to stir the pot, asked, "If Ethan had never gone abroad, would you have married him?" Victoria hesitated, glancing at me, then at Ethan. "Yes." The room exploded. Everyone turned to me, expecting the usual reaction, a jealous, pathetic husband losing control. But I just swirled the ice in my glass, smiling playfully. "Tell me, don't you all think I should just step aside and let them be happy?" The boisterous laughter died instantly. Victoria, slightly tipsy moments ago, froze. She shot to her feet, knocking over her wineglass. Red liquid spread across the table like blood. Her eyes were wide, stunned by my words. "Victoria's just joking," Vivian said quickly, trying to smooth things over. "Sincere, don't take it seriously. Everyone knows you're the one she loves. Apologize, or you'll sleep on the couch tonight." Ethan chimed in. "Come on, Sincere, don't be small-minded. She's just teasing you." I chuckled, tapping my knuckles on the marble table. All right, I can take a joke. After all, you two were an item back in school. Ethan, I guess I owe my marriage to your going abroad. Otherwise, Victoria's first time wouldn't have been with me, right?" The dice cup slammed onto the table, spilling wine over Ethan's expensive shirt. He shot me a venomous glare, ready to argue. I calmly unfastened my cufflinks, and then smash! A wine bottle shattered over Ethan's head. Silence. Only when the mixture of wine and blood trickled down did the screams finally erupt. "Sincere! Are you insane?" Victoria lunged at me, nails digging into my arm. I shrugged her off casually. "I'm just collecting a little interest. This bastard comes back and immediately flirts with my wife. Does he think I'm a pushover?" Victoria's face twisted in disbelief. "Sincere, what are you talking about? There's nothing going on between me and Ethan. How dare you?" I wiped my hand across my face, then kicked Ethan down again. "Nothing going on? You post lovey-dovey pictures and block me from seeing them, and now you claim nothing is happening? Admit it." Victoria stumbled, clutching her cheek, high heels crunching over broken glass. You actually hit me?" she shrieked. "Get on your knees and apologize right now." "Then apologize to Ethan. If you don't, call the police. I'm ready." I straightened my tie and opened the door. My bodyguards entered. I pointed at the stunned crowd. "Anyone here know how to take a hint? Photos, videos, delete them. All of them. Don't make me nasty. The Blackwood family of Lingon is not to be trifled with." Turning back to Victoria, I said coldly, "Call the cops. Go ahead. I'd like to see who dares meddle in the Blackwood family's affairs." The room froze. Victoria's hands trembled on her phone. I pulled mine from my pocket. "Shall I do it for you?" Victoria screamed and lunged. I easily sidestepped, grabbing her wrist. "Ugly? You didn't think it was ugly when you told a room full of people you wanted to marry another man. We were intimate just last night. Are you already eager to replace me?" Her lips trembled, pupils constricted. She had never seen this side of me before. Ethan, bloody and groaning, tried to intervene. "Sincere, let her go." I signaled my men, who restrained him. Fine, she's all yours, Ethan. Victoria raised her hand to slap me. I caught it and instead delivered a sharp slap across her face. She collapsed in a heap of sobs. I straightened my suit, walking toward the door without a back glance. Victoria screamed behind me, "You'll regret this!" I stopped, turned, and gave her a cruel smile. "Right, and just so you know, if I don't see you home—" That night, I left the club and let the echo of Victoria's cries fade behind the door. "Who does he think he is eyeing my wife?" I muttered, drying my hands as I left the restroom. One of my bodyguards spoke up. "Mr. Blackwood, should we deal with that Dawson fellow?" "No, I'm not a monster. Not yet." I paused. "Send him to Thailand. Arrange for a change. Let's see how he likes being someone else." At 3 a.m., the door to the master bedroom creaked open. Victoria stood barefoot, still in the suit from the reunion, her stockings torn in several places. "Hubby, we need to talk." The moonlight cast her long shadow across the floor. She shuffled to the side of the bed and knelt, wrapping her arms around my legs. I knew what had happened. After I left, she had taken Ethan to the hospital. She returned alone, rejecting him flatly after the night's events. "I was wrong," she whispered, tears soaking through my pajama pants, the same warmth I had felt beneath her last night. I lifted her chin. The red mark from my slap was still visible. "Did Ethan bring you home?" Her body went rigid, then she shook her head. "I took a cab by myself." Without a word, she lunged, pressing her lips to my bare skin. I pinned her wrists to the headboard. "So pathetic," I murmured, squeezing her thigh. "Willing to chase your old flame by day, crawling back to me at night?" Victoria whimpered, buttons on her suit popping. The next morning, she cooked porridge for me, the first time ever. "Hubby, my father's birthday is next week. Could you come with me?" I stirred my porridge, smiling. "We're getting a divorce. Why would I go?" Her spoon clattered to the table, milk splashing onto her loungewear. "Divorce? Hubby, let's not get divorced, okay?" I put down my spoon. "No divorce? You want me walking around with a green hat?" Her head snapped up. "I didn't cheat. I didn't." "Emotional affair. That's cheating. Do you think there's a difference between dark green and light green?" I slammed my hand on the table. Color drained from her face. I leaned in, whispering coldly, "I want a divorce, but I won't give you my money. You know what to do. Agree to my terms and the family business continues. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless." Her eyelashes fluttered violently. "Sincere." She turned and threw her arms around me. "I swear I'll never see Ethan again. I'll block him everywhere." I pried her fingers off, chuckling. Too late. The phone on the table vibrated, Ethan's name flashing across the screen. I stepped on it. "Hubby." She looked up at me, tears clinging to her lashes. I bent down, unlocked the phone with her fingerprint, and swiped through the dozens of unread messages. Ethan had asked her to come check on him. Well, well, your old flame isn't feeling well. Openly asking another man's wife for a private visit. I tossed the phone back and turned toward the walk-in closet. She rushed after me. "I'll block him now," she pleaded, fumbling with her phone. "Too late," I said, tying my tie while watching her flinch. She hugged me from behind, tears soaking my shirt. "I know I was wrong. Please, one more chance." I gripped her chin. "A chance? What I find disgusting is this two-faced hypocrisy. You want it all." Tears streamed down her cheeks. I let her go and tossed a file on the bed. "Sign it. Clean break." Her hands trembled as she opened the divorce papers, seeing the clause relinquishing all marital assets. "You really expect me to walk away with nothing after 3 years?" I leaned close, voice soft. "Oh, they meant something. You're beautiful, your body perfect, but flawed now." She snapped, tearing the papers to shreds. "You think I'm a toy to throw away?" I crouched to meet her gaze. "So, what do you want?" "To continue being Mrs. Blackwood while secretly pining for your old flame." I laughed. "Fine, a fidelity clause?" "If I ever contact Ethan again, I leave with nothing," she whispered. I wiped her smudged eyeliner with my thumb. "When did you become so pathetic?" Her voice softened. Because I think I've actually fallen in love with you. I paused, mid-tie. In the original novel, she never confessed her love. And Ethan? I asked. That was just a youthful obsession, she said, eyes darting away. I fastened my last button. You have 3 days. Sign the papers, or the Ainsworth family disappears from the business world. Later, she came to me with a simple white dress and an insulated container of soup. Hubby, I made you some soup. I studied her swollen eyes. Made up your mind? She nodded, pulling out the signed papers. I signed, but one condition. Don't make me leave. I love you. Just let me stay by your side. I stared at her, long and hard, before bursting into laughter. You really think that's touching? Steam rose from the goji berry soup. Her head shot up, trembling. I'm serious. I slowly tapped my pen on the papers. You look like a dog kicked by its master, yet still begging for scraps. Blood drained from her face. I ripped open the collar of her dress, pressing my finger to a fading bruise. Were you thinking of Ethan last night? No, I was thinking of you, she whispered, unbuckling my belt. The sun was high. I drank the goji berry soup she fed me mouth to mouth, and in the end, I gave in. Her beauty, her devotion, too intoxicating to resist. A month later, my bodyguards brought Ethan, now Luna Dawson, from Thailand. Once handsome, now graceful, slender, and furious. Sincere, you animal, Luna hissed, nails digging into her palms. I leaned back. Not satisfied with the new life I arranged for you? $50,000 a month modeling. Better than junior manager, right? She trembled. I'll sue. I'll put you in jail. I handed her my lawyer's card. Try. Lose, and you get punished. She collapsed, defeated, as my bodyguards dragged her out. At home, Victoria was in the kitchen, apron on. Hubby, you're home. I pinched her cheek. Being extra good today? She blushed. I want to save our marriage. I smiled, showing her photos of Luna Dawson, my old flame, now a model. Her eyes widened, spatula clattering. Is that your old flame? I lifted her chin. Does it hurt to see? No, he deserved it. Her answer pleased me. I stroked her red lips. That night, she was docile, kneeling by the bed, drying my hair. Hubby, let's have a baby. I paused. She pressed against me. I want to give you a baby that looks just like you. The moonlight fell on her face. I smiled, untying the sash of her lingerie. All right, but first, I need to check something. Her body went rigid, pressing against me. I've only ever been with you. Only you. Victoria's medical report lay on my desk. All indicators showed she was in excellent health. On the last page, I noticed a small heart she had secretly drawn. This woman was improving, or perhaps just getting craftier. Hubby! She sidled into the study, a fruit platter in hand, holding a piece of cantaloupe to my lips. Our wedding anniversary is this weekend. What kind of gift would you like? I bit into the fruit, then pulled her onto my lap. You decide. Twirling a lock of her hair around my finger, I asked teasingly, Why so attentive? Are you horny again? Her ears flushed bright red, but she denied it weakly. Of course not. I cut her off by pressing her down on the desk, scattering pens and documents to the floor. Meanwhile, Luna Dawson still hadn't learned her lesson. She had tried to record a tearful video listing a mountain of evidence against me, but before she could get very far, the footage vanished from the internet. Public attention quickly shifted. A famous actress's scandal here, a celebrity affair there. Luna's attempt at revenge had fizzled. True to my word, that very night she was sent to a villa in the suburbs, greeted by 3 imposing men I had arranged. When Victoria found out, her face registered alarm. Hubby, isn't that too cruel? I smiled, pinching her cheek. Cruel? Just 3 men. A small punishment. You don't feel sorry for her? She shook her head.
She brought it on herself. She insisted on opposing you. She deserves it. I grabbed her wrist and pulled her into my arms. Such a good girl. Victoria settled onto my lap, tracing circles on my collar with her finger. Old flames, passionate affairs, her red lips brushing against my earlobe. None of it compared to the man right in front of her. Candlelight cast fan-shaped shadows across her lashes. I recalled the ending of the original novel, the male lead letting her go only to be consumed by regret. Threading my fingers through her hair, I asked deliberately, "What if Ethan Dawson came back for you now?" She froze for a moment, then cupped my face. "Sincere, listen, for the past month I've woken up every day terrified you'd leave me." Her tears fell on the back of my hand, scalding hot. Her nails dug into my shoulders. "How merciful you've been to me." I gripped her hips and pulled her closer. "Prove it to me." The next morning, Victoria dragged her aching body into the kitchen and spent 2 hours preparing breakfast. My bodyguard called. Luna Dawson had been making a scene, threatening self-harm, but eventually climbed back inside. "Tell her I don't want a repeat. Give her $1 million as compensation," I instructed. Victoria emerged from the kitchen, smiling brightly. "Hubby, try this. See if my cooking has improved." I took a bite of the omelet, stuffed with goji berries. Delicious. Her eyes lit up. "Really?" I pinched her cheek. "Except when you're thinking of your old flame." She stomped her foot in frustration. "I told you, I've stopped." I silenced her with a kiss. She threw her arms around me. "Hubby, I know I was wrong. I regret it." "Regret what?" I asked, low and deliberate. "I regret not realizing sooner." She looked up at me, eyes glistening, "that I had already fallen in love with you. Hubby, can we get married again, please?" I held her chin, studying her red-rimmed eyes. "Married again?" I chuckled. "Do you deserve it?" Her eyelashes trembled violently, like a butterfly caught in the rain. "I know I don't, but I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you." I let her go, sipping my coffee. Sweet, cloying, just like her. She sidled up to me again, pressing her soft chest against my arm. "The biggest regret of my life, Victoria Ainsworth life, almost losing you." I held her chin, scanning her. "Nice acting," I teased. "It's not an act." She stomped her foot, only to be cut off by another kiss. My fingers slid under the hem of her nightgown. This time her sobs were louder, harder, filled with desperation and surrender.